Okay guys, so in today's, my very first, it's gonna be closed guard sweep. Now before we did broom sweep, which is more an open guard, but now we're gonna go into like closed guard. What if I manage to get guard of some kind? What first sweep should I be going for? And today's sweep is the rainbow sweep. Most other common terms are hip bump sweep, hip thrust sweep, or sit-up sweep. So different gyms kind of have their own terminology for it. Ours is just rainbow sweep. Way back in the day, that's just the way we learned it. Really, really cool sweep. And like the broom sweep, a ton of variations, which we'll get into later today. I got my son here to help out. He likes the broom sweep quite a bit, so enjoy. This will be a lot of fun. All right, so your first closed guard sweep is gonna be a rainbow sweep or a sit-up sweep. Now, the one thing I like about rainbow sweep, very, very powerful, and it's got a lot of variations. I think I have a list of like 12 that I was thinking up the other day, how many rainbow sweep variations are there. So there's great variations for sport self-defense, but of course our first introduction to this is gonna be a self-defense one. So Thomas is on his back. He may be holding onto my head. I try to sit up, he follows me up. He puts his hand on the floor, grabs my arm, and rolls me over, okay? Now, there's a couple little things here that's gonna make it a little bit tighter even for Thomas. He's got long, lanky legs, so is that pinch of the knees is gonna help. So when he sits up, he's holding onto my head, and I sit up, he's gonna get his armpit on top of my shoulder on this side, okay? He's holding onto my elbow tight. He's gonna put his right foot on the floor, and we'll get you another angle right away here in a second. Push that knee into me and hook my leg with this one. So as he rolls, or as he bridges, it rolls me over, okay? Maybe my hands are on Thomas's stomach. He knocks them off to the side, and then he sits up and hugs. So you can see freeze right there, Thomas. His shoulder, his armpit is on top of my shoulder, okay? Now, he can grab my belt, and this is a good beginner way to do it. His foot is off to the side, pinching in. This leg is hooking, and he's lifting his hips up. Nice, okay? If we get the other version, or the other angle of it, for the leg here, he goes to sit up, knock the hands off. Good, this is what we're looking for here. His knee is beside me, and his foot, actually I've turned this heel out ever so slightly. Good, so his knee is pointing inwards. What we don't want is this, where that leg is open. That's gonna be a problem. So he's pinching me with that knee, and then he bridges, lifts his hips up, and rolls me over. Good. So now, let's get some variations. All right, we're gonna whip off a bunch of them. If you need to see it again, just rewind and look at it again.
Yes, I'ma love you like you love Johnny Cash.
I'll be your gangster, I'll be your man in black.
I know what I'm doing, yeah, don't need a map.
I got the juice to throw your train off the track. Honey, do whatever you want, I'll be watching.
Get a little too close, now we're touching. No, I'm not fronting, I'm just stating a fact.
I'll rock your world, I'll knock you flat on your back.
When I'm good, I'm really good, boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, girl. When I'm bad, I'm better. You be my bunny, baby, I'll be your Clyde.
Hit the ignition and I'll give you a ride.
Swing of your hips has got me fit to be tied.
I'm shaking tail and taking names on the side. Honey, do whatever you want, I'll be watching.
Get a little too close, now we're touching. No, I'm not fronting, I'm just stating a fact.
I'll rock your world and knock you flat on your back. When I'm good, I'm really good, boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, girl. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, girl. When I'm bad, I'm better.
as you can see, there's a lot of variations for a rainbow sweep, and that's what makes it really, really fun. This is a great one for self-defense because if someone tries to posture up or sit up, then you have an answer for it. You could sit up with them right away. And the other reason I like this is if you have a mistake with it, it's easy for Thomas to stand up. So if he has guard, and he starts to posture, or I start to posture up and he follows me up, good, and I start to push in a little bit, he can stand up and simply stand up and get out of there. So it does take a little bit of practice to get that one going, but it's a nice way to make this one effective, is that you can, if someone sits up, you could sit up with them and sweep them backwards or to the side. And if someone's pushing forward, once you start sitting up, you can back out away from it. Really helps, especially against big guys. They tend to use that last one against big guys a lot. So for a black belt tip, what I would suggest is a lot of people, white belts especially, have problems sitting up. So what they'll try to do, if you watch Thomas, they have their closed guard, and keep your guard closed and sit up. It's a little challenging. Now, obviously, Thomas is a little bit later, and he's been doing jiu-jitsu for a while, so it's not so bad. But just as you're about to roll onto your elbow is when you want to open your guard. And this is where the challenge, especially those that are a little bit more robust, have, is they can't sit up and keep their guard closed. So as Thomas sits up onto his elbow, his guard will open up, and then his feet go to the floor. Pretty much as he got to the peak of the motion, his foot is on the floor, right, to start the sweep. So that's gonna be very, very, very helpful. Don't hang on to that closed guard and try to pull him up like you're doing a sit-up by pulling him forward. As you go, open that guard. And you can see I'm already on one side, knee is pointing in, foot is gonna hook, and then you bring those hips up to finish the sweep. Like I said, we call it a rainbow sweep, but it's most commonly known as a sit-up sweep or a hip thrust sweep or hip bump sweep. Very, very useful sweep, and it should be your first closed guard sweep. Enjoy.